Hello and welcome to Marvel Mondays here at Mapping Key Gaming. My name is Emmanuel and today we are doing a spotlight on Marvel United and the villainous Taskmaster. Now Marvel United is a 1 to 5 player game that plays approximately 40 minutes and is for ages 14 and up. You play as different Marvel heroes, going to different locations, completing different threats, and then taking down the villain. In this case here we are going to be looking at Taskmaster. We're going to be looking at his villain dashboard, we're going to be looking at his different threat cards, and then finally we're going to be looking at villain master plan cards. Now before we get into all of this here, let's take a look at his character figure and bio. The Spotlight series is designed to take a deep dive on individual characters within the game, and here we are doing a deep dive on Taskmaster, as he is a villain who has unique setup, unique abilities, and ways to defeat him versus every other villain in Marvel United. The main thing with him is going to be putting out crisis tokens, so you're going to be hearing that a lot as we go through his different cards. Now let's take a look at his villain dashboard so we can get to the core of the character. Okay, so this is Taskmaster's villain dashboard, and there is no special setup or anything for him on this side here, so we can just flip it over and take a look at all of his details. Now this makes the basis of how he's going to work. His master plan cards and his threat cards are going to revolve around everything that is happening here. So let's just take a look at his health. At 2 players he has 2 health, at 3 players he has 4 health, and at 4 players he has 6 health. Not that big of a deal. So his BAM right here says deal 1 damage to each hero in Taskmaster's location and add 1 crisis token there. The very first thing you're going to know is whenever his cards come up that say BAM, he's going to be adding crisis tokens. Now if you read his overflow here, if 1 or more of the civilians or thugs tokens can't be added to a location, add 1 crisis token to that location. So now we're getting crisis tokens here with the BAM, and we're getting crisis tokens here with the overflow. So what is the whole thing with the crisis tokens? Here under special rules, you'll read, heroes cannot damage Taskmaster as long as there are any crisis tokens on any locations. He's giving himself invincibility. Now his special rule does give you an out down here at the bottom that reads, heroes can discard a crisis token from a location with no civilian or thug tokens by using a heroic or damage there. So you can remove the tokens by using one of those 2 symbols. Now remember, you lose the game when the villain runs out of master plan cards, or you can't play your hero cards. So with him gaining the invulnerability, what he's doing is he's running out the time based off of the decks. Now let's take a look at his threat cards so we can figure out how they actually work in conjunction with his dashboard here and the special rules concerning the crisis tokens. Okay, so here are his threat cards. He actually only has 3 different ones. He has 2 elite thugs, he has 2 entangled trap, and then he has 2 explosive trap. The elite thugs are just going to make the locations a little bit more difficult by making it that each thug in this location requires 2 damage to be defeated. Not a big deal. Now if you look here on explosive trap, this is the mirror of it, which reads each civilian in this location requires 1 extra heroic to be rescued. They are stretching out the time that it's going to take for you to clear these locations, and thus making it easier for Taskmaster to gain overflow and to be getting more of those crisis tokens. So these, the first layer, if you would, of defeating him, because this is his first line of protection on getting additional crisis tokens, and ultimately more work for you. And then here in the center, we have Entangled Trap, which reads, heroes using move to leave this location must use 2 move instead. So this again is designed to slow you down. But other than that, there's nothing, there's no mystery here, there is no something to make it more difficult. As far as being able to take care of these locations, it's actually pretty straight up simple. All you're going to be doing is going to the location, doing your 3 heroic actions to remove this threat, and then it's business as usual. Now that we're done looking at his threat cards, let's take a look at his master plan deck so we can see what Taskmaster is going to be doing as he moves around the field. Here is Taskmaster's Master Plan deck, and the very first thing is he's going to not have a lot of movement. A lot of his cards are going to be 0, 1, or 2 movement. So he's not going to be traveling the entire board. He doesn't have like super long reach. What he's going to do is he's going to move just a little bit and hit pretty much a bam. So here you see he doesn't move anywhere, and he's going to bam. He's going to deal 1 damage to each hero, and then he's going to add 1 crisis token there. Now here we have him, like I said, he doesn't have huge move, so he's going to move 1, he's going to bam, and then he'll add his civilians. And then this is the flip to that, where he's going to move and bam, and then he's going to add the thugs. And then here he's going to move 2, and then bam, and then add the civilians. And here again is the flip. Here he's going to do the exact same thing, except add thugs. Now this is the first card that he has where he doesn't bam. He's going to move 3, and then he's going to add civilians. His next card here is a move 4, bam, with adding 3 thugs. And then this is where he's going to move he's going to move 5. He's going to add a civilian and a thug to his location and then the 2 surrounding locations, but there is no bam on this one. He has only 2 cards that are going to take him to the 4th and 5th location to go almost all the way around. To go almost all the way around the board. It's not going to hurt too much as long as you keep the civilians and the thugs in check, because he's not going to bam. And then here we have Copycat. So with Copycat here, it reads add 1 thug to Taskmaster's location for each damage at the bottom of the last 2 hero cards in the storyline. So the last 2 cards that the heroes had played, if there are any of the damage or punch tokens or punch symbols were used, he's going to add 1 thug to that location. If you used a double punch and then a double punch, you're looking at adding 4 of these thugs. And then the Copycat at the bottom is the exact same, except it's going to deal with civilians and the heroic symbols at the bottom of the cards. So he's looking at, with these 2 here, he's specifically looking at adding overflow to the specific location and getting invincibility. Then his final card here is going to be Dark Scheme, and he has 2 of them, and again he's not going to move. And it reads Dark Schemes. If there are no heroes in Taskmaster's location, place 1 crisis token there. So if he's at a spot where there's no heroes, he's giving himself invincibility again, invulnerability. So as you can see, this deck is designed specifically for overflow. It's designed to give him invulnerability to beat you on the time, to beat you by decking out and not being able to play any more cards. And that is everything for Taskmaster. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below, and give us a like and subscribe, as I'm a small channel and every like and subscribe helps. And until next time, Taskmaster is a crisis situation.